Dhritarashtra asked this question, which is the first shloka of Bhagavad Gita. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharmakshetre kurukshetre samaveta Mamakah Pandavaschaiva Kim Kurvata Sanjaya. So, now the word by word meaning. Dhritarashtra Uvacha, King Dhritarashtra said, Dharmakshetre, in the place of pilgrimage, Kurukshetre, in the place named Kurukshetra, Samaveta, assembled, Yuyutsavaha, desiring to fight, Mamakaha, my party, that is my sons, Pandavaha, the sons of Pandu, Cha, and Eva, certainly, Kim, what, Akurvata, did they do, Sanjaya, O Sanjaya. So, the translation by Srila Prabhupada. O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? Purport. Bhagavad Gita is the widely read theistic science summarized in the Gita Mahatmya, that is, the glorification of Gita. There it says that one should read Bhagavad Gita very scrutinizingly with the help of a person who is a devotee of Shri Krishna and try to understand it without personally motivated interpretations. The example of clear understanding is there in the Bhagavad Gita itself, in the way the teaching is understood by Arjuna, who heard the Gita directly from the Lord. If someone is fortunate enough to understand the Bhagavad Gita in that time of discipline, in that line of disciplic succession, without motivated interpretation, then he surpasses all studies of Vedic wisdom and all scriptures of the world. One will find in the Bhagavad Gita all that is contained in other scriptures, but the reader will also find things which are not to be found elsewhere. That is the specific standard of the Gita. It is the perfect theistic science because it is directly spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as we already discussed. The topics discussed by Dhritarashtra and Sanjaya, as described in the Mahabharata, form the basic principle of this great philosophy. It is understood that this philosophy evolved on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, which is a sacred place of pilgrimage from the immemorial time of the Vedic age. It was spoken by the Lord when he was present personally on this planet for the guidance of mankind. The word Dharmakshetre, a place where religious rituals are performed, is very significant here because on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was present on the side of Arjuna. Dhritarashtra, the father of the Kurus, was highly doubtful about the possibility of his son's ultimate victory. In his doubt, he inquired from his secretary Sanjaya, what did they do? He was confident that both his sons and the sons of his younger brother Pandu were assembled in that field of Kurukshetra for a determined engagement of the war. Still, his inquiry is significant. He did not want a compromise between the cousins and brothers, and he wanted to be sure of the fate of his sons on the battlefield. because the battle was arranged to be fought at Kurukshetra, which is mentioned elsewhere in the Vedas, as we see in Jabala Upanishad. In Jabala Upanishad, it is said that uh, that which is known as Kurukshetra is a place of sacrifices to the gods by people of divine disposition. And it is an abode of Brahman, that is a place of liberation to all creatures. So we see it is well known in the Vedas and the Smritis. And in Shatapatha Brahmana also, it is said that here Agni, Indra, Brahma, and all other demigods performed severe austerities. And if anybody leaves the physical body in this sacred field, he certainly goes to the higher planets. It is also said. So Dhritarashtra became fearful about the influence of the holy place on the outcome of the battle. He could estimate the possible victory of the opponent party. So he knew very well that this would influence Arjuna and the sons of Pandu favorably because they are religious. By nature, they were all virtuous. So Sanjaya was a student of Vyasa, and therefore, by the mercy of Vyasa, Sanjaya was able to envision the battlefield of Kurukshetra even while he was in the room of Dhritarashtra. And so Dhritarashtra asked him about the situation on the battlefield. Both the Pandavas and the sons of Dhritarashtra belong to the same family, but Dhritarashtra's mind is disclosed herein. He deliberately claimed only his sons as gurus, and he separated the sons of Pandu from the family heritage. This point is very important here. His envious attitude is clearly manifested in his this discriminative way of talking. One can thus understand that specific position of Dhritarashtra in his relationship with his nephews, the sons of Pandu. As in the paddy field, the unnecessary plants are taken out. So it is expected from the very beginning of these topics that in the religious field of Kurukshetra, where the father of religion, Sri Krishna, was present, the unwanted plants like Dhritarashtra's sons, Duryodhana and Party, would be wiped out. And the thoroughly religious people headed by Yudhishthira would be established by the Lord. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavatu bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya ja dushkratam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So to re-establish dharma, the religion, I manifest myself. So that is the purpose of Sri Krishna's coming in Dvapara Yuga, in the age of Dvapara. And so there was Dharma Kshetre and Kurukshetre apart from their historical and Vedic importance. This is the significance. So we see there are two more important words here we can find. One is Sanjaya, the meaning of Sanjaya. We see in Puranas also, in Smriti Shastras, very interestingly, the names would represent the character of a person. In many places we see that. So in case of Sanjaya also, it is the case. Sanjaya means one who has fully conquered the blemishes, like the mental blemishes, that is desire, sorry, love, hatred, everything. And who is very honest, unbiased, and dispassionate. So, which means with all the divine attributes and blemishless. He is Sanjaya. So we see how Dhritarashtra's perturbed as well as impure mind is unveiled in these two lines only. So it is said that what you say, your words are actually uh, the resonance of your mind, isn't it? Our words are actually the resonance of our mind. We will utter those words which are always vibrating in our minds. So, how we think, so we speak. So, here we see how Dhritarashtra's impure mind, that is almost devoid of divine characters and full of demoniac characters, that is envy, uh, duality, all these things are manifested. So with this, we have come to the end of our today's class. In our next class, we will move on to the next verses, uh, verse 2 and verse 3, where Sanjaya will answer to this question of Dhritarashtra as what had happened in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. What Dhritarashtra wanted to know from the very beginning till date, which means on the 10th day. So, Dhritarashtra's question was what actually happened from the day 1 till the 10th day. So, all I want to know in detail, and you please tell me. That was his question. So, Sanjaya will answer, and we will discuss. We will come to know actually what Sanjaya um, has to say. So, thank you very much for participating in the joyous and transcendental endeavor of learning the greatest Vedic scripture, Bhagavad Gita. And we must pray from our heart that may the Lord bless us with the ability to understand His transcendental words, the words of highest spiritual wisdom. वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.